you think of motherhood, you're thinking of someone that's giving birth, someone that's getting ready to enter into motherhood. But that is not motherhood at all.
Wow, okay.
So it's like understand what parents are, where your mama is at that particular time, because some people have these children when they're 18, 14. How can you be a mother?
That is true.
Because you growing and you immature as a mother, but you trying to parent these child, so show them some grace.
Still not ready, but not pop. Well, I'm better in my face, still good on every block. Especially with them OGs running the barbershops. Back in the day, me and my crew, we ran middle G8. 808s booming back of my trunk. Red Taurus, hear the thump as I roll through the hood, skunk in the trunk. Life has changed since I got off the porch. I stayed on course, picture this. Yeah, I had to evolve just to get change.
So, welcome to SoulGood Talkin.
Glad to be here.
We're so glad to have you, Dr. Shunya Glenn and Evangelist Kelly Walker. So glad to have you. So glad to have you.
Thank you.
So we're going to be talking about motherhood, right?
Okay.
And so I wanted to start off with talking about you all. Like, who are you? Like, so just want to let the world know who you are. So we can start off with Dr. Shunya Glenn. Just tell us, a little about yourself.
Okay, my name is Dr. Shunya Glenn. I am also an evangelist, philanthropist. I'm married. I have one living child, and I had a 25-year-old, but he's deceased now. He passed away in 2021. I have my own business, Trauma to Triumph Ministries, where I house young women that have babies or that's pregnant. I give them life skills and help them transition to adulthood.
Awesome.
Yes, I am Evangelist Kelly Walker. I am a wife. I don't have any biological children, but I do have stepchildren. I am a registered nurse. I do have a ministry. The name of the ministry is Praying Pink Diamonds, and it's geared towards women who have been through a lot of adversity, a lot of pain, and a lot of struggles. And the main focus is letting them know that they can come out shining bright like a diamond, baby.
Love it.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask both of you this question, and you answer it however you want. What is motherhood to you?
Okay. Motherhood is, when you think of motherhood, you're thinking of someone that's giving birth, someone that's getting ready to enter into motherhood. But that is not motherhood at all.
Wow, okay.
I was born, my mom, she birthed me, but however, I was raised by an aunt. Myself, I have biological kids, but I had also had over 10 kids going through my home that have therapeutic behavior issues. And they all call me mom. They still call me today. Motherhood can be a mentor. It can be a teacher. It can be your leader, your pastor, someone that's a mother figure to you. That's what motherhood is to me.
Okay.
Motherhood to me is love.
Okay.
It don't matter who it come from, if it's a woman figure and you have the ability to nurture a human being in any realm. Because like for me, I don't have biological children, but God done blessed me with young girls, young women. Even my nursing students, I have to be a mother to them. And it's all about love. What can I do to make you better? So that's what motherhood is to me. It's sacrificing who you are for the greater good of somebody else.
Wow. And I didn't know that about you, about housing all those kids. I never knew
That's a
that.
blessing.
Yes.
That's something. So I know you said you lost a son. Like, and I know Mother's Day is coming up. Does that, having lost a child, does that weigh on you any, like, during Mother's Day? And I know it does, but what can you tell, like, mothers who've been through that, or probably now going through that? How could you help them? And what could you say to them? Because I know it's got to be, it's difficult. You know what I'm saying? So, but what, you know, and preferably this blesses somebody, you know, in that area. So how could you, because I know you're strong. I've seen you, you know, deal with it first, you know, like watching you even through social media, through personally, and you're strong. And that's why I asked you out. I chose you, like, because I knew that you were strong. I knew that in my spirit. But yeah, but how could you be able to help somebody else with that?
Yes, look, it is hard, you know, when I think about, okay, mother's here, my son is not here. But what has gotten me through it, stand before the Lord. Yes. I stay busy. I continue to self-care, continue to take care of myself, do things for myself, get massages, and just praying. Yes. I'm constantly staying busy and constantly pouring into others. Although my son is gone, I'm still pouring into other kids. Yes. God has actually multiplied more kids for me. And that's what I would tell any grieving mom that has lost a child. Only God can help you through something like that. Only God. Because it's not easy. You will grieve. You will continue to grieve. I have my good days, and then I have my bad days. You know, I have those days where I'll smell him. I have my days where I can, you know, his favorite foods are someone look like him. But you gotta know God to get through something like this. Gotta know him. Gotta stay prayed up and stay busy. Amen. That's my advice for something like that. I
believe that. Too, and for me, like sometimes on Mother's Day, where everybody always glorifies the mother, like they have perfect mothers, they've never done anything. And I'll be honest, like my mother wasn't the perfect mom. She wasn't there all the time, and she made some crazy decisions. But that's my mom. Yes. You know what I'm saying? So regardless of what she done, she's still my mom. And I still love her no matter what. But sometimes, like on Mother's Day, we put them up on pedestals, like, and that's great. Don't get me wrong, that's great. But at the same time, let's also be honest and real, and deal with whatever issue that you may have. Because some daughters, a lot of daughters and sons don't have relationships with their mother. And their mother's living and everything, but they don't have relationships with them. So those are things that I think, you know, need to be talked about and need to be worked on. And so I put that to you. You know, what can be done, you know, to kind of help them, you know, mend those relationships, or what you think they should?
I would say, like she said, it's God, because what you gotta realize, faith is love. Faith and love go together. Hate and fear go together. So you gotta operate in love, and you gotta put God first. Like, say for instance, my mama had me when she was 37. She had 4 other children before me. I was number 5. And so a lot of times, me and her, we didn't really get along. My sister that's 5 years older than me, she was the first girl. So she spoiled her. And then I came along and I felt like I was being rejected because my sister had a big, nice room and she had the nicer clothes and everything. So in my mind, I felt like, you know, my mama don't really like me. You know, like she would all like really call me bad and say I acted out. But it's like on the other end, you show all this love to my older sister. So I didn't really understand it. But it's like, as I kept going through life, and I'm going to be honest, when she passed, that's when I understood who she was. Like, when we closed the casket, I understood that she was 37 when she had me. Baby, at 37, I was tired. So it's like, understand where parents are, where your mama is at that particular time, because some people have these children when they're 18, 14. How can you be a mother?
That is true.
Because you growing and you immature as a mother, but you trying to parent these child. So show them some grace.
Oh my God.
Show them some grace, and you gotta put on that armor and show and express love, even when the person you might feel like they have done you wrong. And love gonna be the power that's gonna save that relationship. That's what we're missing in our community right now. That's right. It's talking about matching energy and all that stuff. No, somebody gotta be the bigger person. You gotta put God on. And that's what I did with my mama. And that's what I advise anybody to do. Put on love even when it don't feel good.
Can I add to that?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, even when you was talking, my mom, like I just told you, she wasn't in my life.
Right.
But what I had to understand, my mom had a mental breakdown.
Come on.
So she had to give me to someone,
Yes.
and that was the best decision she could have ever made. But however, I've seen, like I said, I've had over 10 kids to come through my home, but they had bad behavior. They displayed bad behavior. Why? Because mama wasn't there.
Come on.
So when I say motherhood is more than just your biological
Come
mom,
on.
we are mothers, that will pour into these kids and that will try to show them that love that she was talking about. Why? Because mama not there, I'm here for you.
Yes.
So that's my thing about, not just having your biological mom.
Yes.
We are the mom.
Yes.
So motherhood is more than just your biological
Right.
mom. But it's so many kids that has displayed bad behavior.
Yes.
Because of that.
But the rejection.
Exactly.
But it shaped your lens. Like, you start looking through that lens of that child. And one of the things, like, I'm going to tell you, when my mama died, I could understand because I did not have the love that I expected. It grew me close in my relationship with God. I didn't depend on my mama like my other siblings did. And I'm going to tell you one scripture that I live by. Trust in the Lord and lean not to thine. I couldn't understand it at 17 why my mama told me she couldn't pay for me to go to college. But God had a plan. I had to struggle to go to college, so now I help other children go to college.
That's good.
It shaped my lens of
And it
how
gave maturity too.
It did.
Yeah. Because as a child you wouldn't know
what it felt like.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Or you wouldn't understand why mama did what she did. You wouldn't understand that.
Yes.
So it's our job, like you said, as the community, to pour into these kids.
Yeah. And God got a plan that's better than any plan we got.
That's right.
Since I knew. That's right. Getting too easy.
Come on, man. We ready.
They figured preach there.
Now, I'll take us on a different spin if I may.
Go ahead.
So, I lost my mom to a house fire October 31st, 2020. So now here, I hear you ladies, and I completely agree with you. And so now on the end of the spectrum is, now you have this grown man. I was probably like, 44, 45 when I lost my mom.
Jesus.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm struggling. So I'm listening to you. And the little boy in me is struggling. You see what I'm saying? As far as that motherhood, because nobody, of course, for one, can take the place of my mother. You know what I'm saying? I thought something super sweet today. My aunt said, Tony, next week, I know it's Mother's Day, and my sister ain't here. She said, but I'm here for you. I feel it, but at the same time, and I hear it. It's coming from a real good place, but the little boy in me still miss my mom.
Yes.
And I'm struggling with, you pray, but I still wake up every day like it's a struggle just to put my feet on the ground. It's a struggle. I'm gonna call her. I even hate coming to making as much as I do because in the latter years, she would just want me to come down and just ride her around because she couldn't drive anymore due to health issues. And so it's a struggle still trying to find a mother figure. And then you have this thing where you don't necessarily want to find a mother figure because you don't, in your head, you don't want to replace her. You see what I'm saying? But you're not replacing her. So it's all jumbled up. Still processing, you still grieving. I have older sisters and they kind of like smother me because my older sister, she's 17 years older than me. I'm like you, I was an uh-oh baby.
Yeah.
I'm like 36 when she had So with that being said, I got older siblings, 17 years and 11 years, and my older sisters, so they try to do what they can, but it's not mama.
Come on.
So, but they do their best. So like you said, even though mama's not there, it's showing the mother, it doesn't have to be mother. So now I'm seeing more of the nurturing side of my sisters. Even though they still help raise me, but at the same time, mama was still the matriarch. You know what I'm saying? Right. So now, my sisters and everybody stepping up because, they see me. They know I'm hurting more than anybody. Baby boy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And if they're watching, I'm the favorite.
Uh-oh.
But you already know it. But no, I totally agree with you ladies. And and I'm praying stronger and harder every day.
Yeah.
And I'll say this right here on behalf of like the children that come through your your ministry and just come through you. Thank you for all that you do, because it means a lot when people step up. Because I've had a lot of people step up. Tell me if you need anything, give me a call. So just from that behalf right there. So Mother's Day to me is going to be it's different. Of course it's different.
Right.
She's not here.
Right.
And but at the same time, just still trying to be present and be there for other people and still honor other women who are making that sacrifice and being there for the community. So I don't know where I was going with that, but at the same time, anybody can latch on to it. So
Well, that brings, you talk about grief during this time.
Yeah.
A lot of them don't want to go to church. They
Right.
don't want to go nowhere because, they feel it now because Sunday is coming. And everybody's going to be talking about mother this, mother that, and mama's gone.
Right.
I have a great grandmother who was everything to me.
Yes.
She's no longer here. But she told me when she passed, when she was getting ready to pass, she reminded me in my spirit, she said, to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord.
Yeah.
She told me she was ready to go. And I said, well, who am I to keep you?
Come on.
If you're ready to go.
Yeah.
And so during her time, she was still blessing me
Yes.
during that time. But how can others deal with the grief of not having mama coming up,
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't know what grief was until my mama died. Like, I think I don't know, like, even though me and my mama, I didn't think we had what was a close relationship, but when she died, it was like a part of you is gone, because this person been with you since you started life, so that person is gone, so everything about life is different, and I thank God, my mom died in 2019 and COVID came and I lost my assignment and it gave me 3 months off to grieve. But when I walked in the hospital rooms with patients, every little thing, like you said, reminded me of my mom and I would be in tears. Like, grief is real. But I think, like, I went to grief counseling and the counselor said, it ain't nothing I can do for you. Really, it's going to take time to heal. And like she said, the best thing is I learned how to take care of myself. Like, love me, because I was her caregiver for a lot of years. So it was like, life was different, but love yourself. And that's when I started discovering who Kelly really was, because I looked at my mama, this woman who gave to everybody. And then she didn't really live her life it might have been the fullest to her because that's what she liked doing. But in my eyes, it's like, just care for yourself, because a lot of times us as women, and especially mothers, we neglect ourselves. We put ourselves on the back burner, and we don't really take good care of ourselves and even our mental health. So I would just say, just learn how to focus on loving you, praying, and going deeper in your relationship with God. Because only His love really can heal that, and it's time.
That's it.
And what I've learned about grief is you're never the same. You're different. It's like something on the inside of you. Like, through grief, I'm almost done with my book.
Come on.
Through grief, my ministry started. And I'm doing more into the community.
Right.
Through grief, I received my doctorate degree. So you have the opportunity to fold, drown,
or
go.
Yes.
Right. Exactly.
So either you're gonna be one or the other.
Yes.
Right.
And it's a choice. So that's why I say I keep busy. I stay busy. I don't have time to grieve. I stay busy. I stay busy. My son's death will not be in vain.
Come on.
Everybody gonna know who my baby was.
Come on.
Right.
They're gonna know him.
Right, exactly.
So that's my advice to you, and I'm so sorry. I don't know how it feels to lose a mom. I'm so sorry. I don't know how it is to lose a mom, but take that and make it a positive thing. Grow from it, and I believe that you're doing it.
Yes.
I am. And I commend you because I couldn't fathom the idea. I have 2 sons. I won't even finish the statement. So I pull so much strength from you. So I thank you for like pouring that love right now into everybody that's listening. I'll take this time to celebrate my mom. So it was and I tell people all the time, it was my mother that taught me how to change a tire and tie a tie. You see what I'm saying? My dad was around, but mama, she wanted to make sure that I was a strong enough man. She poured into me all the characteristics that she knew that I needed to be able to survive one day when she wasn't here. You know, like when my very first car that I got, my sister gave it to me. My mom, I wanted to learn. She told me, she said, you're going to learn how to change your oil in your car. And I was like, huh? So she bought me some ramps, pulled the car up on the ramp. She over there with a book. She never did it now.
Come on.
She just read the book. Well, do you see something that look like such and such? Yes, ma'am. So I went there, oil and stuff. But it was awesome. She did that. Mama was old school. Men did what men do. Mama didn't let me wash dishes till I was like 20 years old. She was like, Mama came from an era where men were men.
Right.
Mama was, she 80, you know what I'm saying? So back in the day, dudes would wash dishes. But she wanted to make sure I was a manly man, and she was doing the best that she could.
Right.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Which I respect her for that. And everything. She had me like just in soccer, football, baseball, just swimming lessons because she didn't want me around any other boys. They pushed me in the water and I couldn't swim. So she made sure that she gave me all the survival, all the survival tools that I needed. She gave me a survival kit, starter kit.
Yeah.
And I love it when I see single moms and even parents, not to discount the dads or whatever the case might be. I'm just speaking from a single mom perspective. That go that extra mile with their children. You know what I'm saying? They go that extra mile with their kids because we didn't ask to come here. As children, we didn't ask to come here. And so she never put a man over me and things of that nature. Nothing wrong with that part right there, but in the sense of nobody was just going to treat me any kind of way.
That's right.
When I got later on, it was crazy because I heard of certain relationships. I used to see like certain dudes that she dated. All of a sudden they're gone.
Come on.
And then I asked Mama when I got grown, like, what happened to such and such? Oh, he said, I need to do this to you and I need to do this to you and take this away from you. She said, oh no. Mama pulled back my cigarette. Oh, okay. And it was crazy too because at the same time, I give my pops props. He was dating this lady at one time and he noticed that she would. Of course, this is her son, but at the same time, when we were together, she just showed a little more favoritism to me. I'm sorry, to him, over me. It kind of put me like secondary type thing or whatever, and Sean me. I asked him later on, what happened to her? She said, oh, no, she won't do my child. I said, oh, okay, thanks, Dad. So, so both of my parents. Wow. So I just say all that to say I love it when parents put their kids first and really pour into them and give them the push that they need.
Yeah.
Because so many of these kids, that's why they're so lost. That's why we got all the mass incarceration and things like that. Things to do, you know what I'm saying? Keep your kids busy. I love it. I got some nieces now that keep their kids them kids, they only have time to like say goodbye and hello. That's all. I mean, in between time, it's school, homework, sports, organized sports and things like that. They keep the kids busy.
I love it.
Yeah. So I didn't have really idle time like that growing up. I mean, I played outside. Do kids play outside anymore?
They play video games.
They do this? Oh, okay then.
But the church did that for us. They kept us busy. With everything. Yeah.
So with that being said, do the churches need to step up more, or is it the parents? So it's a combination of both.
It's got to be a combination.
It's a combination because the parents got to get them there, but at the same time realize that they're not. The church isn't your babysitter.
That's right.
Your kids still have to come with some decorum. They have to come with some manners and things of that nature. So you can't just push a kid off on somebody. So
and people don't like you saying anything to their children anymore.
Right.
So it's like when I was at church when I was smaller, we would go, okay, you want to spend the night over my house? We went to eat everybody's house, and whatever they said, that's what we did. If they had a problem, they came back and told your mama. Right. They got you, your mama got you, everybody. But now if you say something to people's children, they gonna rise up on you. So I think that's where a lot of the problems come. Now people be like, nah, I keep my children, you keep your, I think that's where the difference come in.
So I wonder, where did that breakdown happen at? Like, where did it stop? Where can you like think, this is for the parent as well? Can you think of the time where it just shifted, where you couldn't tell my kids anything anymore, and you're gonna believe what the children say over what the adults say?
Wow.
It just kind of bled into it. And we just started accepting it because that was like the new norm, wasn't it? Is that how you guys feel?
I
can't pinpoint when it happened.
I went to private school, so
come on.
Okay.
The standard.
that was one of the biggest things. I feel like the school system now is not as, they don't really acknowledge God.
Come on.
And I think taking that out of the picture has everything to do with the behavior change in our youth nowadays. And I mean, I think it just kind of goes downhill from there. We're not going to be able to function as a people with, omitting God.
Right.
Come on.
Right.
So what I hear, of course, coming up to different holidays, especially on Father's Day, you get the mother say, well, you ought to get me a Father's Day gift too, because I'm one of So, my question would be, can a mother raise a man? Oh man, we quiet.
I really,
I think he's an example of that.
yeah.
I really do. I
I look at
really do.
Deion Sanders like I love Deion Sanders, and that's who he gives his credit to.
Right.
His mama, like a lot of those athletes and stuff, their mama groomed them in such a way that they was able to endure.
Right.
Like I think like they realized their role, and by the grace of God that they able to do this. Because I mean, some mamas put belly. Sometimes I hate to say this, but I see it in a lot of my friends, and it's like sometimes it be kind of good that one parent might not be there because they might bring so much toxicity. If you got a father that's alcoholic, drinking and fighting and stuff, and you ain't got no peace, so which one would you rather have? A father in the house just to say there?
Yeah, right.
Oh,
right.
I mean, which one would you rather have? Just to say you're in a 2-parent home, but he a drunk and he looking at pornography and putting this all in front of your kids. Which one? I mean, is it better to have a 2-parent home or the 1-parent in that situation? This father coming here raising sand and cussing and fussing, beating up your mama
And that's crazy you say that because that's how my mom was raised.
Mm-hmm.
Granddaddy get his check on Friday afternoon. Grandmama she go down there and had the kids go pick up the check and leave him a couple dollars for cigarettes. Yeah. And then mama said she knew Friday night to Sunday morning, she gonna have to stop her daddy and her mama from fighting and all this stuff because he done got drunk.
Come on.
What? So with that being said, it's like to your to your point, just to say you got a dad in the house, that ain't good.
All right, so we jumping on daddies now, but
you're the one posing the question. You're the one.
I know some moms that check out too now.
Yeah,
either
right.
Be a mama.
You're right. Either way, but it's exposure. Is it more important if it's mama or daddy to say we got this 2-parent and it look real good on the outside?
True.
Yeah. But on the inside, it's hell.
It's true.
I mean, even with my situation, my youngest son, he has his mom and father.
Mm-hmm.
And my husband, he's a workaholic. So my husband have never had to go to the school. It's mama that gets him to the games and practice.
They always expect the mom to come. And when I show up, it's like, who are you?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm my father.
Right.
Yeah.
What you mean?
They surprised.
Father?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my husband,
I have to prove myself when I come there, but they really expect the mother.
Yeah. So my husband, when he gets off work, everything needs to be done, and my son is in bed, and I'm just saying, well, Jalen, did such and such and such and such and such. And he's a disciplinarian, but it's mama that does everything.
Right.
This is the only job I know. You don't get a raise.
You
don't get a pension. You don't get 401k. You don't get no holiday pay. A mother's job is hard.
Right.
So that's why
Whether a
the
mom or dad is there.
Wait a minute, hold on.
But I'm telling you, action speaks louder than words.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they see what you see is this woman going hard, and it's like, okay.
Mamas go hard too.
Yeah, they do, but they do. You right. But one thing, I went on this trip, and in the Airbnb we was staying in, it was these little girls was having one of them cheerleading convene, whatever it is that they have, and it was Caucasian families, and the dads was there with their daughters. So the question is, how many times do we see in our communities? Do we see the family unit now?
I'll wait.
I just want to know how many times do we see the family, even in church?
Right.
That's
right.
It's an attack. Like really, I'm proud to see y'all today. Some good men. Like it's good character. Y'all like cut. Like it's a difference. Like what's going on that this stuff getting stinking in our community and it's permeating.
Right.
Yeah. So when you see
don't have
it,
no
it's
mother.
rare.
Right.
It's rare. I know that you're a good father, but it's rare.
It's
you
rare.
know, you're active in your kids' life, but it's rare.
Yeah. Now, I will say this right here. With that being said, me and my kids' mom, we divorced,
Right.
but I still made it a point to be there for my
Okay.
children. So I go to, I show up, just pop up. We go, I eat lunch at school with the kids, buying
That's
all
rare.
the kids
You
ice
rare.
cream. They like, hey, Mr. Reed,
Yeah.
ice cream today? Yeah, everybody get ice cream.
Love it.
I made sure I had the boys at football practice. I mean, their mother did as well, but at the same time, I made a point to put them in boxing or
Come
Main
on.
Street and things of that nature, karate. I wanted to expose them. I remember one time I didn't have a lot of money. I split the little fee for, what was it? I think piano lessons. It was like paid for one of them for one whole month, but I was so broke that month. I said, okay, if one of them get 2 lessons and the other one get 2 lessons the other week, I just want to keep the boys exposed because I knew what it meant for me. You know what I'm saying? And I pray that they, pass it on. God willing, I have grandkids or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I made sure that I showed up. I'm down at school. I'm down in college, making sure they cool. Hey, I showed up. I made sure that I was there and they knew their dad. You know what I'm saying? I taught them how to change a tire. I taught them how to tie a tie. The stuff that my mama taught me, I taught my boys.
And see, you just broke a generational curse
Yeah.
right
Right.
because you didn't expect your kid's mom to do it.
Right.
You broke that. Your mom did that for you,
Yeah,
but
I
you
made
did.
sure I did.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
that's
I had to flip
awesome.
it. I didn't sit back and wait for that. No.
That's awesome.
No. Yeah.
But that's the power of exposure too.
Mhm.
Because what we have to realize, I can remember being a little girl growing up in the hood. And I couldn't believe farther than what I saw. So I thought what I saw was, all these drug dealers riding around on 20s and their girlfriends living lavish. So my dream was to be a drug dealer girlfriend because that was as far as I could see at that moment before somebody came in my life and exposed me. So to come out of that, sometimes our communities end up the way they are because of the simple fact, the exposure. This what I see, this what dudes do. They go to jail, they walk around with their pants sagging, they don't see no good men that's living wholesome lives. So it's like sometimes you can't dream any further than what you.
So is that why young girls like to gravitate to thugs?
That's my experience
Okay.
because that's who has the
That's
money.
clear though.
I mean,
maybe that's all.
but I'm just talking real. Like when I look back at my life, and then like this lady came into my life and took me to a tour at Savannah State and different colleges. I'm like, this is something different. Like and these people ain't angry. They ain't cussing. They ain't mad. Like they actually healthy. Yeah, like but you seeing 8 Ball 2020 and mad that whatever that stuff was blunt. And you thinking, this is what I need my life to be. So that's what's going on with a lot of they look forward to going to jail.
Exposure.
They smiling on mugshots.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. It's like they get a medal or a medallion if you go to jail.
Yeah.
That's what
That is true.
But it's a lot of their friends. That's the crazy
Come
part.
on.
A couple of people that I know, they say, man, when I go to jail, it's like going home.
Yes.
That's sad.
Wow.
That's sad because a lot of their friends are there.
It's exposure.
It's exposure, man. So did the parents fail? With the kids going to jail and everything?
Well, they say it's a lack of, well, you know, they always try to say, well, when the father is not in the house, you got a lot of kids that tend to go astray and go down that road to jail. So,
Not necessarily.
right. Yeah, I'm just saying that's what they say.
But I think now it's like what he said, like God. Like, even if you didn't get God at home, you got God at school. You got God from your neighborhood. It was in your neighborhood. Me sat out there sweeping the dirt, she singing a hymn. That ain't in our community. We got the exposure even to that. Like, I mean, so it's like, I think it's the moral compass is gone. You know, like, even if people didn't believe in God, they still have a standard. And now it's like, where the standard at on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram?
See me.
Yeah, like we building up these images, but they empty on the inside.
Right.
No substance.
Pretty packaging.
No substance. You talk to them, they open their mouth up, you like, what in the world is you talking about? Hooray, crying, cussing, like y'all on somewhere.
Right. So, wow.
So I know we've been talking, and I know we hadn't got on the subject about, you know, having biological kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so with being motherhood, how does, and however you want to talk about it is on you, but how does not having biological kids in any way affect you?
To be honest, it was a hard journey initially.
Okay.
But then it's like I went to Hannah in the
Come
Bible.
Come on now.
And it's like realizing that, you know, everything is about God's time and He's sovereign.
Come on now.
Whatever He write, He is the author and finisher of my faith. He write my story, so whatever He give me, that's what I gotta take. Just like you had to take your son. He knew He got a plan that Isaiah 55 said His ways are higher than ours.
Come on.
His thoughts, everything about Him. So I had one thing I say to myself, when I'm in a situation I don't understand, God, you sovereign. You reigning and ruling on a level that I don't understand. But Hannah was my role model because she went through that. And it said God made her barren. But she produced a Samuel. Sometimes it's about, he was the first prophet. Sometimes it's about what you birthing. That you be barren for a little while. You just gotta hold on and see what it is that God got for you. So I'm trusting God on this journey. Like I used to be depressed and miserable and all of that stuff because I internalized it. Because this is what I wanted. But I have to go back to that 17-year-old girl that didn't understand my mama. And that's why I look at God had a plan because my life is everything I could have ever dreamed of. Wow. Yeah, I just trust Him. He got me, baby.
Bless somebody.
Let me ask you this right here. And I like to flip it a little bit.
Yes, come on, flip.
Because, everybody's not as into the word as you are, which, we understand. So, what challenges did you face coming into this marriage, coming into these children now? Was it an acceptance there, or was it some rejection because you weren't their mom?
Right.
So did you have any barriers you had to cross over and get through just to make the connection with those kids?
So I was 25.
Okay.
So 25, I was real immature in my thinking.
Okay.
I took a lot of the instances to heart, but it was a lot of rejection because my husband and his ex-wife, they had probably been divorced about 3 years. And they were still used to operating, doing everything together with the children. So here come Kelly.
Right.
And so my stepdaughter, she was 5, my stepson was 10. So it was more like with my stepdaughter with the rejection. And so I would be like, okay, well, and I'm going to be honest, we got a divorce. We got a divorce because I told him I would rather him be a father to his kids because it was so much I'd rather you be a father because I knew what it was like not to have a father. So I thought being a father was more important.
Right.
And so, I mean, I was like, I'd rather you be a daddy. But then it's like, we got remarried probably after about 6 months.
All right.
But it's like, right. God put it in my heart that love, like he helped me to understand, like sometimes I can't take you at face value. If you grieving, that's gonna affect your whole being. These children went through, they were the casualty of the war. They was the ones that it hit.
Right.
And God said love them, even when they reject you, because they children.
Okay.
So I told my husband I was gonna come here and talk about it. He said, tell him it was hell, Kelly.
Okay.
It was hard, but it's like every adversity that I went through drew me closer to God.
Okay.
And God told me just love them.
Okay.
You know, because when you think about our Savior,
right,
he took some blows that he didn't deserve.
Mm.
And it's like just realize it ain't about me.
Correct.
And I'm not trying to be their mama, but I could be the love that they need.
Mm. That's what I was looking for right there.
Yeah.
For like young ladies who find themselves in that situation, you know, as now maybe stepmother.
Yeah.
It
ain't no joking, rip your soul like
right,
that.
but tell them, so basically what we're getting out is hold on.
Hold on.
Strengthen your faith
And
in the
support
Lord.
your husband too.
Of course, because he's going, whether he know it or not, he's
It's
going.
tough.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's torn.
Because my husband really had a desire to be a good father.
Okay.
You know, but it was like, it was a lot of drama.
Because I can only imagine he married, he want to hold on to you, and he got his kids over here.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And he in ministry.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We need to have him on for the Father's Day.
Absolutely.
We
We
got
got it.
I want to get his flip side.
I love it.
I want to meet him. I can't wait to meet him.
Yeah.
That's some awesome stuff.
I need to uplift this some men, right?
Yeah. So, okay, I like that. So, young ladies, hold on. You know, strengthen. You know, support your husbands. Strengthen your faith in the Lord and love those kids because they're more than likely gonna get some rejection because you're not mom.
And one thing I look at life, I look at your behavior. It's a root to every behavior.
Okay.
That's good.
It's a root. Like, you just don't come out, you know, just being mean and ugly and hateful.
Okay.
If you research, it's a root to what created that fruit.
Correct.
It's a reason why. It's a root. It's a root. Like, I look at people now and be like, something going on. You know what I'm saying? So I can see the children were torn, and that you confused as a 5-year-old and a 10-year-old.
Right.
All you see is this woman, because I'm 7 years younger than them. So this younger lady come in.
Oh, you younger than the kids?
I'm younger than my husband.
Oh, okay.
So, and his ex-wife, so I'm younger. Yeah.
I got you.
Mm-hmm. So it was like, yeah, you coming in disrupting our.
Yeah.
You know, you gonna love your mama.
Right.
And everybody want their mom and dad to be together.
How's the relationship now with the kids?
The relationship is better. Actually, I'm gonna tell you something. Both of my stepchildren came and apologized to me when they graduated from high school. Yeah, like they came and both of them. It's like still being that voice of reason to them.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you was empathetic
Yeah.
when it came to them. And the Bible said love covers a multitude
Right.
of sins. So you love them through their issues.
Right.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
And you being the adult, that was awesome. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the immaturity part stepped in for a second. I don't want to deal with this right here. Whatever. You do that right
Yeah.
there, but then you came back. That was so awesome.
And because I struggle with rejection from childhood, like one thing you gotta realize, that rejection that you get from childhood, whether it's in your household or bullying or whatever,
Okay.
if you don't fix it, that's the lens you gonna look like. I could come here and see one of y'all smirk and be like, oh, they don't like, you know, that's the way rejection speak to you.
That's
So
true.
Wow.
it's like that. So them rejecting me, I'm ready to book back. You know, that's what it's instead of, you know, looking at the whole picture.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
And identifying your rejection.
Got
Like,
you.
yeah.
That's
Wow.
good.
So you gotta put on different lenses.
You gotta change them lenses.
You got to. because a lot of times it's myopic. We're looking at it one way.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, different people got different reasons, you know,
Yeah.
for acting the way that they do. It could be defense mechanism.
Yeah.
It could just be vulnerable. Whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that. Good stuff.
Yeah, it could definitely be hurt. I think a lot of people are carrying around some hurt and they don't really know how to express it, they don't know how to get it out.
We don't know. We haven't talked that. Right.
But I mean, we have to be, like you said earlier, we have to be the bigger person. And even in your being busy, you find yourself being able to read people a little differently because you're just kind of involved. You know, you're involved with certain things. And see, when you seek in God like that, God's gonna let you discern.
Come on.
Yeah, He's gonna let you discern things about certain people, even if they're strangers. Because sometimes people are just hurting.
Yeah.
And it take God to help us
That
as
part.
humans to see that hurt in someone and be able to identify. You know, and because it might just be a word you need to speak to them that pushes some of that hurt to the side for the day. And sometimes people need that. They just need to know, hey, there's some good souls out here. Somebody has a heart out here.
Right.
Somebody's listening to God.
Right.
Somebody's listening to God out here. You know,
Because without spiritual maturity,
Come on.
even with our own kids, motherhood, it can make you or break you. It'll bring out the best of you, and it'll bring out the worst of you. You know, when they're disrespectful, when they're cussing you out, and you know, I've had that before. So, do I do them like my mama did? You better go sit down somewhere, or you know, pull out a belt. So, how do y'all deal with that? You know, like she said, you know, I pour into them. I see that spirit and I pray for them and I called it out. But what do a mom do when that disrespect comes?
Yeah.
Does it bring out the worst, or do you minister to them?
But you know, that's good. It actually made me think about a 12-year-old son, because sometimes he has anxiety issues, and he might just kind of go off. He likes to clean up when he get mad. So
Oh, really?
That's a good thing.
That is good.
Just stay mad. Get mad about 30 more minutes.
Yeah.
Make sure you hit that toilet. Make sure you get the bathroom and the mirrors. But it just reminded me of a time where I was able to see and identify that spirit that had jumped on him. And it's like everywhere he went in the house, he would just bark. My daughter would say something, he just like, man, he just go off. And there was one day I told him, I said, meet me up in your room. Meet me up in your room. So we came up there, we sat on the bed, and I'll make this quick. We sat on the bed and I was just talking to him. I said, you know what? I rebuke that spirit.
That's it.
And I told him, I said, look at me in my eyes. I rebuke that spirit of you, because this is not you. Something has attached itself to you, and you're acting it out. But you know who God is. And God is watching your behavior. So
I love it, sir.
Let's take a moment and brush that to the side.
Come
and think
on.
about what does God think about how I'm behaving to my sister, to y'all, to inside the house. Now your spirit is bouncing from place to place in the house. As your dad and as a lover of God, I'm not going to allow that to happen.
Ooh, I love it.
I took him and I prayed with him. And I made him understand that sometimes, even though you're a kid, the devil gonna try you too. Because the devil gonna work through you to get to me.
Come on.
And if I lose,
I love it.
I'm gonna put my hands on you.
That's it.
That's what he going.
That's what the devil wants.
And he sit there eating popcorn.
The devil sit back. He just
I got it now.
But it just goes to show that the enemy is busy.
Yes,
He is operating in whomever has an idle mind just for a millisecond. He's to and fro. And so I have to be really careful with that, you know, because we have to really be careful and make sure that we are pleading the blood of Jesus Christ on these children.
I love it.
We have to do that, because once they get it in them, see, I think it goes back to the fact that because of the huge behavior shift in our neighborhoods and in our community, people don't fear God.
Come on.
The lack of fear
Yes.
to our God is the reason why there's so much corruption.
Yes.
All these shootings and all this crazy.
Texas, y'all heard about the shootings. It's so sporadic because the enemy, he's just, I mean, anybody who has an idle mind, it's like he just he comes like he comes sitting up, and then and then they lose it and they go in all these different crazy places and stuff like that. So I'm seeing that in my son. I'm seeing that in my kids. I'm just like, no, I'm not gonna sit back and be that parent to say, well, yeah, we in 2023, you know.
That's right.
Y'all just
It's a new day. Just let them do whatever.
I'm not raising any old thing out here.
Yeah.
That's right.
Once you get grown, it's on you, but it's for me and my house.
We will serve the Lord.
Right. And I want to make sure you have that fear of God.
Right.
I
If
love
you have
it.
that fear in you,
That's it.
that's the foundation.
That is
You
it.
brought up something real. I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
I'm going to just say that, through all those things we're talking about, the trouble and trials that we've been through. I know I heard a song, we had a praying grandma. Right?
Yes.
So I want to ask her, how important was grandma? You know what I'm saying? So now grandma was, 24?
They
25.
twerking, baby.
Right.
Twerking, baby. Yeah.
But I know, I see all the time in the lines, in the school lines and stuff, that grandmama's picking them up.
Yeah.
Grandmama's taking them here. Grandmama's doing this.
Yeah.
And so, but now, where is grandmama that we had? We got a grandma that
Wow.
we had.
That's good.
Grandmas
That's
that we
good.
had.
Yeah, they can play.
Yeah,
Even in church, everybody know that you chewing gum, give me that gum.
Right.
Yeah, but now, like you said, it's like it's 2023. It done changed. We gotta adapt to the children. But what we gotta really realize is we opening up portals for the enemies to come in.
That's it.
Like saying, we welcoming the enemy. With the children, these video games. Some of them video games, you wondering why they going around shooting. They been in a training.
Even the music.
Like some of the music.
The music is a huge influence.
The prince of the devil is the prince of the air.
And he had instruments in him.
Absolutely.
See, you got that's why the word is so important.
Come on.
That's it.
That's the reason why, and I hear you both, throwing out the scriptures and stuff, but that's why the word is so important, is because we have to put that word in our children.
Yeah.
That's it.
But what is that? My people perish for what?
For the lack of knowledge.
That's why we are perishing, because grandma ain't reading no Bible now. Then grandma teaching the children,
the truth.
Grandma on IG.
But like you said, the grandma in the club with the granddaughter twerk, like that. So it's like, I think sometimes we be caught over the top when we stick to those standards. But it's just realizing, this stuff is welcoming. The enemy don't even have to work that hard anymore. Let's just say that.
No.
He don't even have to.
All that has to be done is said.
It's said.
It's like when Jay-Z said, 30 was the new 20?
Come on.
Now, 60 is the new 40?
Yeah.
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But that's just kind of how the things have been triggered. So if it's spoken, if it's out in the atmosphere, it latches on.
Yeah.
It latches on to the weaker of us, of course. And I'm guilty. We all have sinned and come short of God's glory. But to God be the glory.
Come on.
Because it has to be a change.
It
has
does.
to be a change. Change has to come about in order for us to help. In order for us to help.
And the thing about it, I like what you said and what you ladies were saying. I think, and like Ron said, praying grandmother or whatever, I never realized how important it was to pray over your kids with them right there.
That's it.
I saw that mom do that one time, like stop them right there. I mean, she went as far as the oil, not saying anything's wrong with that, but she put the oil on their head. And she prayed right there. And I was like, okay, I like that. And this is when we were separated or whatever.
Yes.
And then so like a lot of times, whenever the boys are right there, I say a quick prayer or whatever. Just covering the boys. And they're like, hey, bow your head. Let's pray right here, standing up. You get ready to leave. We're finna get this prayer in. We're finna get this work. You know what I'm saying? I want the Lord to know. I'm sorry, I want the devil to know you can't have these right here. And again, these are some of the principles I want them to be able to do with their kids.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's going to be so important, like praying with your children. You know what I'm saying? And it's not a matter of just being all preachy, holy, and I don't have it, I don't claim Baptist or whatever. Okay, just pray. Whoever you pray over your kids. Yeah, whatever you say. You ain't even got to say.
You got to be speaking in tongues.
You got to speak in tongues. Just a simple prayer.
Just pray.
Just pray. Just pray over your kids or whatever. So if you don't believe in saying God, high five or whatever, pray over the kids. Pray over them.
Teaching them how to acknowledge God in all
Right.
their ways.
Yes.
Right.
And it's just really essential. If you acknowledge God in all your ways and seek His face, or all these things will be added unto you. Don't find yourself struggling in life and you got a Savior right there with you.
Now, with that being said, it don't mean it's gonna get any easier. So that don't mean stop. It means you really just gotta go ahead and get right on into it. You gotta step right on into it. It's not, as a matter of fact, it's gonna get worse. You know what I'm saying? Because like those are the people that he's really attacking. God's army, But at the same time, it's about knowing when you see those attacks, when you see certain things in people. So you're gonna get hit, but at the same time, you're gonna have that armor on, that discernment, and you be able to see it. You know what I'm saying?
And
And you know what you know. When you know what you know, you all right. You gotta know what you know. You gotta know what you know. And them scriptures, like I got some scriptures in my back pocket. I gotta pull them out in them times when I'm in darkness, I'm in a trial, and that's what's gonna sustain me.
Right.
But one thing we're talking about grandmama didn't used to care what she said. Grandmama didn't care about her your feelings. If you were going down the wrong path, grandma would tell you. And now it's like, well, I don't want to hurt their feelings, or I don't want them mad at me, but you about to jump off a cliff.
Right.
Grandma was gonna warn you, and if you jumped off the cliff, then it was on you.
Well, how about the kids now with opinions and stuff like that? And I get it, but at the same time, like, the kids got a voice. They know what they're telling the parents what they want.
Right.
Or how they want to be, whatever case, what they don't want to do.
Right.
And it's like I've seen some people, well, he said he didn't want to go to church today.
And they let him
He's
sleep.
6. What you mean he said he didn't want to go to church today? So I'm like, oh my God, so who's the parent? The child, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And I think it's like you were saying, like to a certain extent, like they're looking back at their childhood when they didn't want to go to church. So they ain't gonna let their child, their child don't want to go to church, they ain't gonna let them go or something like that because of how they felt inside. But it comes with growth and maturity and things like that. So I don't know, people do it differently.
No, I wasn't made to go to church when I was young.
Did you go?
We went maybe CME.
Okay.
What CME is what
3 times at Christmas,
Easter.
Mother's Day, and
Okay.
Easter. But I wasn't made. But when I started living with my great grandma, I told you who was everything to me, she said, "Boy, you need to get God in your life." Because I love her so much.
You listen.
Whatever she said, that's what I want to do. I was 13.
Okay.
And she said, "You need to get God in your life." I said, "Oh, okay. One day I'll see." Not knowing she had to call the pastor to come pick me up and go to church that morning. Had my clothes and stuff ready to go that morning because I started living with her. And I was like, man, I gotta... But because she said it, and the love that she had for me, oh yeah, she got me right.
Yeah.
There wasn't no wrong, she had to be right. And turned out she was.
Still going to church.
They
got your kids going to church.
They got mine going. So absolutely.
By any means necessary.
Yeah, absolutely. So that comes to my question is, does a mother to provide good motherhood, does she have to know the Lord? Do she have to be guided by God? They don't want to answer
Let
that.
me hear it out. When did you come to Christ? When did you like fully? I know we still all like short of 100%, but when did you? Your oldest baby boy was 26.
He was 25 when he
25.
passed away.
Were you in the church when he was born?
Yes, halfway in,
Halfway out. Okay. Well, of course, now looking back at your motherhood skills, you're way better than you were then.
Right.
Did you introduce him to the church back then, or it was kind of like you still? Okay.
My entire family, pastors, preachers, so
Okay.
he had no choice.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, he was in the church.
But that's her. I'm saying, in general,
Okay.
do a mother that's provide good motherhood, does she have to know the Lord?
I would say yes.
I would too.
I would say yes.
I would too. Even if she don't go to church, she got some godly principles.
Okay.
Yeah, like
Okay.
I don't know. It's
because this is a different
Yeah.
type of generation.
It
Well, watch
is.
this though. But watch this. You know, everybody ain't jump. It is, but everybody who's, you got good people, general good people who haven't, met the Lord per se.
Mm-hmm.
But they're genuinely good people. They got good principles, good morals.
Well,
but
I'm
they
gonna
don't
tell
know
you
the Lord.
the Bible says you'll know a tree by its fruit.
By the fruit bag. Come on.
So if I don't know, like if it's a rotten tree, you're gonna have some rotten fruit.
But they might not be rotten though. They may be good people.
I get what you're saying, but it's like I haven't. Well, you know what? They go on the other side of that. I know some people that do know the Lord and they don't be good mothers to their
That's
children.
That's true.
Really good providers.
Yeah.
But they may not give you the love and
Right,
nurturing
come
that-
on.
Right.
So you gotta try what's good mother.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna push the envelope a little further. Can an atheist be a good mother?
Yes,
Okay.
because if just like the Bible says, if an atheist or if know how to show love to their children, how much more will God show to us? Just I look at it like this: we're all humans, right? So we have emotions. And whether we want to admit it or acknowledge it or not, we have love in us. We were born with love. We are God's creation. We have love in us. So an atheist could probably live. I mean, look, what's his name? Bill Maher.
I think
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He's an atheist, but he has a huge platform.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying he's a father. I don't know if he has kids or not, but I know he loves his family. I don't listen to him, but the guy I used to live with a long time ago, he used to listen to Bill Maher. He just like, man, Bill Maher, he's 80s, but he's just funny, he's fun. And I would sit up and just listen to him sometimes. And he made a lot of like funny gestures and stuff like that. I mean, he was an interesting guy, but he talks about his family. So I know he loves his family.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I know he loves his family, but he's not shy at all to admit he's atheist.
Okay.
So in that regard, I mean, I would go there that far as saying that even though atheists might be mothers, they are still parents.
Parents. Okay. When you pull back the layers.
Yeah, when you pull back the layers, they're still a parent. So they're still, especially even if they're teaching that, because you got some hillbillies that are racist. So it doesn't mean that they hate humanity. They just don't like Negroes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but they're able to still show love within their own quarters.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, I would say an atheist could
Still be a good parent.
still be a good parent, but they may not acknowledge that it's God that's still operating in them because they're able to show love.
Okay.
So that's
It's good. Ain't no shine on anybody at all, whatever the case may be. So I just asking that question. I just thought about it. Yeah. Good stuff. I like that answer.
That's a good question.
So, what would you now, the age you are, the mature woman that you both are, what would you tell your younger self when you became parents? You with the kids being teeny weeny, you when you had your baby boy. What would you tell yourself? If you could write yourself a letter to your younger self, what would you tell her? We're gonna start with you.
I think, my sons, my oldest son and my youngest son, they were raised totally different.
Okay.
In maturity.
Okay.
Like I said, I was 16 when I had my oldest son.
Okay.
So he didn't get the opportunity to go to practice, get into sports and continue to be active. So I think I would have kept him busy. But I was young. I didn't know how to be a mother. I was still a child myself. So it's a lot of things I would have done different than I do with my youngest son.
So you tell your youngest self to spend more time with your son, get him involved.
Get him involved.
Okay. Get him involved.
And it's a big difference.
Right, exactly.
It's a big difference, because my oldest son, he got into all kind of things. And now that, when I know better, I do better. And this child here, he's honor roll student. He's going to the service. So he's working full time and going to school. He's quiet. He don't get into any trouble. Right. So it's a big difference.
So the 16-year-old young lady that's listening to us right now, those are the words you're going to tell her. Keep your child not so much busy, but productive.
Productive. That's the word. Yes.
Because you can run a place and be busy.
Yes.
You ain't going nowhere.
That's right.
So that being said, okay.
But and that's a great letter she could tell them. But in reality, it's gonna be tough for a 16-year-old that don't have any resources.
So what do we do? So they can reach out to you. They can reach out to young ladies like this right
Absolutely.
here. Female like role models. There's a whole motherhood platform because they having young ladies are having babies all the time. So there is hope. There are people out here. There are resources out there for you. If you so find yourself in that predicament. So good stuff.
Absolutely.
What's your letter saying?
I would say don't take everything so personal. And you can't get time back.
Okay.
So, you gotta, like, a lot of times we waste time on stuff that's insignificant.
Okay.
And, I think when you turn 40, you just start looking like, I'm about halfway through life. And it's like, I wish I would have spent more time pouring into those kids versus taking every attack personal.
Right.
Like creating memories versus
creating memories.
Yes,
Absolutely.
it's like don't take everything ain't about you always.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Instead of like, I'm gonna shut my Right. Yeah, like I ain't gonna be bothered. No.
Right.
So it's like create memories and don't take everything so personal and don't waste time. Time is precious.
That's it.
Yeah.
So I think one more is
I've learned that in my 40s.
when we start talking about the 16-year-old, that brought up those young unwedded mothers,
Right.
Just find themselves in a situation. We all, like you say, seeing it come short. We all are dibble and dabble in this. So those who've gotten themselves pregnant, who think their world is over, what do you say to them?
It's not over. They made a mistake. And like I mentioned that I have a home. I house young women that have babies or either pregnant. So, it's not the end of the world. All I do is just minister to them. How do you come from this? How do you rise from this?
Right.
And I give them my testimony. This is not the end of the world. You made a mistake, but you keep going. Don't let this be the end of your story.
Right.
So that's what I do, teaching them, parenting skills, teaching them, okay, now it's time for you to transition into your own place. Now it's time for you to transition. Let's get a job.
Yeah.
Let's go to school. Life does not stop right here. You got to keep going. You can't look at what you did and when you was out messing with Bobo.
Come on.
You cannot look at that. You can't hold on to that. It's time to keep moving.
Yeah.
baby daddy, you know,
Yeah.
my baby daddy, he left me.
Yeah.
He did what he did and he left.
Yeah.
The neighborhood boy.
Right.
You cannot keep holding on to them. You can't keep holding on to that. You gotta keep moving.
Yeah. I think, like she said, keep it moving. Like, don't allow it to depress you. Like, one thing, I got a sister and friends that was pregnant when they were teenagers. And it really do something to you psychologically. Like, it's really like a form of oppression because you always feel less than, because a lot of family members and friends put you down. Like, my sister worked at the neighborhood Walmart, and she was pregnant at 14, then she got pregnant again when she was 17. And some of the women now said words to her that was harmful, like you ain't gonna never amount to anything. Right. But my thing is, separate yourself from around people that's making statements like that, and realize for them to make a statement like that, they unhealthy.
Okay. With you all being in the church, and I've been in there too, I've heard church.
Mm-hmm. I had to
tell them
the
same thing.
Yeah.
The same thing.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna do nothing.
Yeah.
And they coming to you.
Yeah.
For an answer, and that's the answer they get.
Yeah.
I had to literally go before the church and say,
back then, that's what they made you do.
True.
I'm pregnant.
Right.
And to me, that was the most humiliating embarrassment, you know, for the mothers. And, you know, mothers back then, they could be, you know, they can be mean.
Right.
They can be mean. Mm-hmm. So I had to go through that scrutiny. And didn't want to go to church. Wanted to stray away.
Yeah.
So that's something I dealt with being a teenage mom.
We're going to cover that too. Church hurt.
Absolutely.
I want them back.
Absolutely.
Well, we got a whole nother series on the first
exactly.
lady or pastor's wife that church hurt. So that's another sequel. And being from the hood, baby.
Absolutely.
Yes. Oh, you ain't burning. Like, yeah, like choose you.
So what do you have going on next in you know, your business and any events and anything coming up, you know, in the future?
Me, I'm just full force with my ministry, outreach community. Now God is calling me back to the pulpit. After my son passed away, I kind of just stopped.
Yes.
It kind of made me like a muzzle was over my mouth to where I ain't preaching no more. I ain't singing no more. I can't even tell you when the last time I sung.
Right.
But now God is saying it's time.
Yes.
It's time to get back on now. It's time to get back on now. So I found myself worshiping again.
Gotcha.
I really wasn't singing. I wasn't doing anything. But it's coming. I'm getting the phone calls again.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
Same thing.
So I have my ministry, Praying Pink Diamonds, and basically I'm just really maneuvering, trying to get it, because I started it during COVID. So it's like trying to get to the point where having in-person meetings, and then I'm actually going to start like my coaching services and all of that stuff. My thing is I want to see women come out of this depression and anxiety and realize that this stuff is really obtainable. Like, it's in our mind. Like, we don't have to stay stuck.
Right.
Like, and I know it from my own personal testimony, because God took me out the hood, baby. He can take them out too. Yeah. And shine bright. Yeah.
That's right.
That's awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff.
That's right.
Well, I just want to thank y'all for coming. You all been a blessing. I know the people who are going to watch is going to be blessed by it. Thank you so much for coming.
It was. We gotta do it again.
See, I'm only here to complete the mission that's set before me. Now picture this. Yeah, I had to evolve just to get change. Misjudge, mislove, I got out the way. Black Jesus, I've been there, but I swayed. Circle back just to save the day. Now picture this.